I chose CSU Engineering for the fact that it's such a hands-on course, so it's so practical and you're really involved with what the industry wants.
The way they deliver their course is through real-world experience-based learning, through real-world application. So unlike any other university course where you spend 4 years learning the content, CSU Engineering puts you in a classroom for 18 months, teaches you the fundamentals of what you need to know, and then puts you with a real-world employer who's going to teach you through application of what you actually need to do.
You're out in the industry learning real skills that people are actually going to be using, so that's why I chose it.
CSU Engineering has such a diverse cohort, so it's not just people that are straight out from school and it's not just males. It's a whole mix of people that have gone out and worked and have come back as a mature age student, and there's also a lot of females in the course, which makes it really interesting.
Well, having actually grown up in Bathurst, gone and got a trade, moved away, and seen that there was this course from my hometown was a massive drive to come back.
I came from Wodonga, which is in Victoria, and I wasn't really that excited to move to a big city.
So I came from Tamworth, came to Bathurst because of the course, also because I don't really want to be in the big cities. It's not where I want to be. I like being in the regional areas. I like being in the smaller towns.
So when the course came up in Bathurst, which is a regional, it was ideal for me to stay regional, and I always want to work in regional areas afterwards.
My personal belief is that if you train people in the country, they're going to stay in the country and work. So as opposed to going to one of the major universities in capital cities, I felt coming to a country-based university was going to give me the ability to work in the country.
Girls that are considering engineering, especially in their high school years, that really enjoy maths and science and problem solving, I would 10 out of 10 recommend them joining engineering.
If you are more suited to practical-based learning, then CSU Engineering is definitely a course for you.
So if you're a female and you're considering doing engineering, I think that's great. That's really good opportunities in the engineering. It's quite a broad term, so there's a lot of different paths you can go down.
The way they deliver their content is through a just-in-time rate of delivery rather than a just-in-case. So the information that you learn through university is still the same as any other university, except that whilst you're learning it, you are actually doing it.
Such an awesome career path with so many possibilities that they could pursue.
The Rube Goldberg machine. One of the things I've enjoyed about the Rube Goldberg machine is that from something so small and so simple, you can extrapolate all these fundamentals which will relate to every other engineering project that you will ever do. Planning it to budgeting, finding resources, conflict resolution is a massive one that's come from this. Having to deal with when things don't go right and forecasting for when things may go wrong.
What's been fun is actually being hands-on, screwing things in and building things.
We sat down and brainstormed initially, I think about 20 or 30 ideas. One of the initial ideas we had was for a bottle rocket to be fired up in the air, yanking different split pins out, which is entirely unfeasible, especially when you have to constrain it to one being safe and two being practical.
I think the greatest thing about the Rube Goldberg machine is the fact that we're using leftover recycled materials. Like, we haven't really bought much. Most of it's been sourced from either inside the building or from tips, just leftover materials.
Building the machine has been the biggest challenge, but it's also been the most rewarding to see it actually come together.
Just all brainstorming together and throwing in little ideas led to bigger ideas.
One of the men in my team was a builder for a lot of years, and he had background in construction, especially in carpentry, so he wanted to do woodwork. The other man in my team, he was a bike mechanic, and he really knows how wheels work. So we tried to embrace everyone's skills in building our machine.
Just the teamwork, it's been tough working in teams, but it's preparing us for real life. Like, you're gonna have to work with people, and I think that's a great thing.
We didn't know each other 2 weeks ago, and now we've all come together to build this massive machine.